Hello hoopers, and welcome to a tutorial on sustained spinning 14 ways. You might already know the two-hand float and the one-hand float. We'll be looking into some ways to get into both of these, as well as incorporating some new ways to use sustained spinning into our flow. So from a backpack into a two-hand float, starting with the hoop in this backpack position, putting both arms on the back, I'm going to grab at the top on an outside grip as I pull the hoop up behind me, and then turning it to get into that horizontal plane as I bring it down. Then we have a backpack spin to one hand float. So again, getting into that backpack, getting the arms behind me, I'm going to release my left arm and let the hoop slide down my right arm as I extend it out, and then letting the hoop do a little rotation in my arm as I get into that inside grip to float down. The one hand tracer to one hand float. Starting with the hoop in my right hand on an outside grip, palm facing down, I'm going to swing the hoop around my head, tracing my body as I bring it into my chest. Both of my palms are facing me with the hoop resting in the crook of my elbow. I will flip it to go into that one-handed float, grabbing on an inside grip with my right hand. All right, for a one-hand tracer with a pass. So again, with the hoop in our right hand, we are going to trace around and then bring it in front. Now getting on an outside grip with our left hand, we will go from palm down to palm up behind our back to pass it to our right hand. All right, this one's called an outside grip twirl. So keeping my hand on an outside grip with my right hand, I'm gonna bring the hoop up above my head as I bring my left arm through the hoop and then into that outside grip. As I trace the hoop down, now going into a vertical plane to pass it to my right hand behind me as I pull the hoop up, and you can go into another frame or an off-body move. Right, this one's called the continuous pass around. All right, starting with the hoop in our right hand, we are going to pass it to our left hand with our palm facing down, then passing it to our right hand with our palm facing up as we bring the hoop up above our head to trace it behind our head, remembering that our right palm is always up as we pass it again to our left hand, palm facing down. So as we scoop here, just remembering that our right palm will always be facing up as we trace it around our body, and our left hand will always be facing down. This one's called a behind the back flip lock. So starting with the hoop from waist hooping, I'm going to stop the hoop in the crooks of my elbows as I flip the hoop over my head and then extend my arms out to lock it in place to where it's resting on the small of my back. And this one's a behind the back flip lock to tracer. So getting in that same position, but now I am going to release, so flipping it over, and now I'm going to release with my left hand, getting the hoop to rest on my wrist with my right as I trace it behind me. When it gets behind my head, I'm going to start to grip the hoop into that fold grip on an inside grip with my pointer finger pointing out to brace the hoop to go into a fold. All right, this is the behind the back flip lock to step through. Starting again from that waist hooping, then we're flipping the hoop off, letting go with our left hand as the hoop rests on our wrist. We're gonna grab again with our both hands as we get the hoop behind us in that vertical plane to bring the hoop down. As we do, we're going to release with our right hand to flip the hoop to our left side as we step out with our left foot, grabbing with our right hand, palm facing us, to step out with our right. All right, this is the on-body frame twirl. Starting from waist hooping, we're going to stop the hoop again in the crooks of our elbow. As we scoop our right hand underneath, so where the hoop is resting on our pinky and that inside-ish grip, we're gonna bring the hoop down a little bit to have our left hand grab the hoop on an outside grip, flipping it down to pass it to our right hand outside grip behind us. And now a frame twirl, float it, all of it, putting it all together. So again, starting from on body, get in the crooks of our elbow, we're going into that same grip with our right hand, but now pushing out like you would in an escalator brake, going right into a fold, getting our left hand in there to flip the hoop over, and now grabbing with both hands to float down. All right, calling this the chest stall. You can go into this from shoulder hooping, so prerequisite would be shoulder hooping for that. But you can also catch it like this from a pizza toss. I'm going to show you from shoulder hooping. I'm going to bring my arms together and then extendly fold them out to stop the hoop. Of course, continuing that staying spinning to keep the hoop there. If you want to go back into it, just concave your back to push the hoop to start going onto shoulder hooping. All right, calling this the vertical twirl. So starting with the hoop in my right hand on an outside grip at the 9 o'clock position, I'm going to swing the hoop in front of me. As I swing it behind me, going into a 12 o'clock grip at the top, bringing the hoop down, getting into an outside grip with my left hand to pass it to an outside grip with my right to bring the hoop back up. All right, and then we have the vertical twirl to backpack. So again, starting with the grip on the outside of the hoop with a 9 o'clock position, bringing it again behind us at the 12. This time we're going to scoop our left hand in here and then our right arm to extend out to get into that backpack. To get out, you can just release with your left hand, letting the hoop fall into your right. All right, I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to take some rest in between all this spinning, and happy hooping.